Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from the basement bunker beneath Kello Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. Really nice to have you along. I appreciate it. Let's see where we start. I want to make sure that you hear this story. I mentioned it on the air this morning. I'm going to mention it again here. These internal FBI emails that were declassified and released this week, that you had agents in the FBI, this is in the Washington field office, they expressed doubts about whether there was probable cause to go into Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago and a search warrant. They didn't believe there was probable cause there to be able to actually go in, and remember they seized all those records at Mar-a-Lago, so on. And FBI Director Kash Patel said, it's true. We just turned over documents to Capitol Hill to be made public, showing the FBI told DOJ they did not have probable cause for raiding President Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, but DOJ didn't give a damn and did it anyway. So there were prosecutors at DOJ. These were prosecutors. They wanted Trump. Now, I don't think that's going to come as any big news to you. Certainly doesn't to me. I think, we have seen them after Trump. They wanted to get Trump. So they wanted to get Trump. They really didn't care. We don't have probable cause. We're going in anyway. And a lot of this was released by Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley. Trying to see if there's anything else here. One key email says that they didn't believe that we've established probable cause for the search warrant for classified records at Mar-a-Lago. Email says that while DOJ officials opined that probable cause had been met, they wanted a broad scope covering the residence, the office, storage areas. FBI personnel viewed the supporting information and they said it had not been corroborated. They said it was single source information. So in other words, yeah, okay, someone is saying that, but we don't have anyone else who can corroborate that. It's just crazy. One agent proposed informing Trump's legal team that a search warrant was being prepared, and they hoped that the president then would cooperate with them. So let's tell the president we're getting a search warrant, hoping that he'll cooperate. Let's not make this confrontational. The recommendations were rejected. They decided not to do that. Another exchange, an FBI official referenced a statement from a prosecutor saying he frankly doesn't give a damn about the optics of going into Trump's home. This is crazy, man. They were out to get Donald Trump, and they didn't care about the optics. They just wanted Trump. What is it about that? These folks are just, and I would think if you're in Washington, I'm sure what we have seen during the latest Trump term is exactly what they were worried about. They were worried about Trump coming in and firing federal employees. And have you noticed any reduction in the quality of your life? Following the reduction of all these federal employees that we've seen. And there were a number of folks that at DOJ and at the FBI, others, it's just absolutely incredible. So I wanted to make sure you saw that story. The left is having a field day right now with Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles is Donald Trump's chief of staff. She's the first female chief of staff in the United States. And she did an interview with Vanity Fair. I have not seen it. So I was curious. The left is just going crazy on this. So one of the most recent stories that is out there, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles said this about Elon Musk. What'd she say? Now, I'm going to share some of this with you only because I think once you hear it, you're going to go, big deal. I mean, seriously, some of this, Elon Musk is a different kind of cat. How many times have I told you that? Elon Musk is a different kind of cat. He operates on a different, thinking. He's on a completely different level than so many of us, right? I honestly believe that. I think with the genius comes a certain amount of, it's just an odd character. I believed that for a long time. And I'm a fan of Elon Musk. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, he's a little bit different. A lot of us are, right, in our own ways. Well, Elon Musk, and I think one of the, and you see this in genius, you see folks who are really, really highly intelligent, right, who, and even beyond that, I mean, just what he has done, the companies that he has built, and it's just absolutely incredible. But he's a different kind of cat. So what did Susie Wiles say about him? Let's take a look at this. And this is the way that the legacy media is trying to piece this. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has drawn attention for her controversial comments about Elon Musk. Wiles, who became the first woman to serve as White House Chief of Staff, and by the way, the legacy media could give a rat's ass about that. They're going to rake her over the coals. Anybody affiliated with Donald Trump. Yeah, the first, you would think, the first female chief of staff. No, that's not going to stop the legacy media from raking her over the coals. So during this issue with Vanity Fair, she addressed Musk's personal habits. And Susie Wiles said, he's an avowed ketamine user. He sleeps in a sleeping bag in the executive office building in the daytime. Now, I have seen a number of reports. Elon Musk sleeps in a sleeping bag in his own companies. When he's at Tesla, he's in his office. He's sleeping in a sleeping bag in his office. This is what Elon Musk does. Again, he's a different kind of cat. And I don't say that because I'm being critical about it. Would I do it? No, it would not be my preference. But whatever, make your own choices. I really am a believer in making your own choices, especially about stuff like this. Okay, so I had a sleeping bag at the executive office building, and he was sleeping in the daytime. And she said, he's an odd duck. And I think geniuses are. It's exactly what I just said. It's what I've been saying for months. Geniuses are just, excuse me, they just operate on a different level from so many of us. Sorry about that. I think she's absolutely right. Geniuses, that's it. That's the way they behave. And so she said, he's an odd duck, as I think geniuses are. It's not helpful, but he is his own person. Doesn't sound all that damning to me. And then she goes on. She acknowledged the logic behind Elon Musk's approach to governance. Elon Musk's attitude is that you have to get it done fast. If you're an incrementalist, you just don't get your rocket to the moon, she said. Wiles' commentary also focused on Musk's leadership of the Department of Government Efficiency. She said she was initially aghast at proposals involving USAID, U.S. Agency for International Development, which has been now turned over to Marco Rubio and just about all but shut down. She was aghast at this, and she said, because I think anybody that pays attention to government has ever paid attention to USAID believed, as I did, that they do very good work. And I think what we learned was, no, they weren't doing good work. Wiles also addressed Musk's online behavior, including his decision to share a post on X suggesting that public sector workers were responsible for mass deaths under historical dictators. So she was asked about that post by Elon Musk, and she said, I think that's when he's microdosing. So is this somehow this is and Straight Arrow News has got a piece this morning. I was looking at top headlines that the White House is scrambling. And this is Straight Arrow News. The White House is scrambling to address all of these things. I just don't think it's an issue. I really don't. Susie Wiles, I think she is a fighter. I think she's a tiger. I really do. And it's just more of the same. Okay, it's a little bit crazy. So the president's going to be addressing the country tonight at 8 p.m. Central. And we don't really know. He has not given clues, at least at this point, but he announced that he was doing that on True Social. So tonight at 8 p.m. Central, he will address the country. And I had seen a story, I think it was at the Washington Examiner, that had a piece on it, or it may have been just the news.com as well. Just the news.com, I believe, had a piece. They were speculating, okay, here's what people who are close to Trump, both in the White House and out of the White House, but they're close to Trump. Here's what people are saying. And I would very much just, I would rather wait. Let's see what the president says tonight. And you and I will talk about it in more detail coming up tomorrow. So we'll see what he winds up saying. Also today, we've got the chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr, who's testifying in front of the Senate this morning. Right now, he's testifying. And this is the first time then that he has testified in front of the Senate since all of the Jimmy Kimmel controversy, and he got wrapped up in that. So we'll see what comes out of this, if anything. There may not be any big news that comes out of that today, but we will see. Also, Fox News has a piece this morning. Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri saying that he's not going to be apologizing to China anytime soon. They're suing him for $50 billion. $50 billion, and said, nah, this is in retaliation for Schmidt from Missouri has been part of then suing China, and successfully. So he was on the Ingram Angle last night being sued by the Chinese. This is the Missouri's Attorney General, Eric Schmidt. And he said it's totally ridiculous. They're just mad that we exposed their lies and their deceit. He said Missouri got a $24 billion judgment against them, and they don't like that. They unleashed COVID on the world. We sued them, and we won, he said. So now they are going after him, and he said the whole thing is just sour grapes. So his team is working on translating the legal papers that were served to him. How do you even know they're legal papers, right? But he said, I won't be apologizing anytime soon, as you'd imagine. So he sued People's Republic of China, several Chinese government ministries, the Communist Party of China, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the Chinese Academy of Sciences. This is back in 2020 when he was Missouri's Attorney General. And he did so successfully. And so now they're trying to hit back at Eric Schmidt. We're also learning more about the death of Rob Reiner. And this is, again, I find this to be such a heartbreaking, just tragic, terrible story. Romy Reiner, this is the youngest daughter of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. She's the one who found her parents, and she found her father first and didn't realize at that time that her mother was also dead. Just really tragic story. So she lives across the street from the Reiners. She came over with a roommate to open the gate. She wanted to check on her parents when she discovered the body of her father. And she ran back to her home, had her roommate call 911, and then she reached out. And I wondered about this. How did some of Rob Reiner's friends, because Billy Crystal was there pretty immediately, Romy Reiner had called Billy Crystal because Billy Crystal and Rob Reiner were the best of friends. So she called Billy Crystal to let him know what had happened. And it was only after the police and paramedics had arrived that then they told her that her mother had also been killed. What a heartbreaking story. So she did not see her mother's body, didn't even know until authorities told her that that's what had happened. And there are more stories about the New York Post has got a number of stories about Rob Reiner's son, Nick, and apparently at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, he was going around asking people, everybody, he was asking everybody the same three questions. What's your name? What's your last name? Are you famous? That's what he asked Bill Hader. And apparently then Bill, so I'm a big fan of Bill Hader's. I think he's an incredibly talented guy. That's what he was asking Bill Hader. And apparently he and Bill Hader was involved in a conversation with somebody else. And here's Nick Reiner, asking these questions is like, do you mind talking to somebody here? He's obviously a deeply troubled person. And so now you've got some of these folks, as you can imagine, they're pretty worked up. They were at the party that night and they were approached by Nick Reiner and just a bizarre evening. And I think folks knew something wasn't right, even based on things I think that Rob Reiner was saying, because he was being pretty open with folks that there were issues going on with his son. And, there was some encouragement from some that he should, kick his son out of the house, that he should kick him off the property. That's a tough thing for a parent to do. If you have ever had your, kids that are involved in stuff that they shouldn't be, and I, to a degree, I'm speaking about this personally. I don't want to give a lot of personal details, only because I don't want to disrespect my children sharing private information. But those are tough decisions that parents face, I think, in situations like that. The whole story is just terribly heartbreaking. Also, I don't know that I mentioned this on the air this morning. I was saddened to see the death of Gil Gerard. He has died at the age of 82. Best known for playing Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. So his wife announced that she said on Facebook, early this morning, Gil, my soulmate, lost his fight with a rare and viciously aggressive form of cancer. From the moment when we knew something was wrong to his death this morning was only days, she said. Wow, being taken that quickly. She said, no matter how many years I got to spend with them, it would have never been enough. Hold the ones you have tightly and love them fiercely. Great words on which to end today. So you have made it to the end of the video. You are part of my gallery of champions. If you are not yet a subscriber on YouTube, please become a subscriber on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button. It's very, very slowly building more and more subscribers. We want to hit the 600 mark. Right now I'm at 510, so I need your help. Subscribe on YouTube. Very, very appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Let other folks see it. Share it. Means a lot to me. Want to salute the Bunker Brigade. Those are the folks that are here each and every day. Okay, so until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone.